He never made it back, but his words still do. It was late autumn when the first snow began to fall over the battlefield. The air smelled of smoke and fear, and the sound of distant gunfire echoed through the frozen valley. Somewhere in that chaos, a young soldier named Daniel sat in a muddy trench, holding a small, wrinkled piece of paper. It was his last letter home. His hands trembled as he wrote, not because of the cold, but because he knew this might be the last time his words reached his family. "My dearest Anna," he began, "if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it home. But please, don't cry for me. I fought knowing you were waiting, and that gave me strength." Daniel was 23, a farmer's son from a small town miles away from the noise of war. Before he left, his mother had kissed his forehead and told him to come back safe. His father had simply nodded, hiding the fear in his eyes. And Anna, his love, had slipped a locket into his pocket, a photo of the two of them. Smiling under the oak tree behind her house, that locket never left his side. The days in battle were long and cruel. Mud soaked through his boots, and sleep was a distant memory. The sound of shells never stopped, and each explosion reminded him how fragile life had become. Still, Daniel wrote. Every night, when the world seemed quieter, he took out his letter, adding another line, another memory, another promise. "I remember the way your hair smelled like lavender," he wrote one night. "When I close my eyes, I can almost feel it again. That's how I survive this place, by remembering the warmth of you." Around him, men came and went. Some joked to keep from crying. Others stared blankly at the sky, lost in thoughts of home. Daniel wasn't the strongest or the bravest, but he had something many didn't hope. Hope that someday this would all end, that he'd walk down that dirt road again and see Anna waiting by the fence, just like she promised. But war doesn't make promises. One morning, before dawn, his unit was ordered to move forward. The enemy was closer than anyone expected. The ground shook as bombs fell, and the air filled with smoke. Daniel held the letter tightly in his hand, pressing it to his heart before tucking it safely in his jacket. "If I don't make it back," he whispered to his friend beside him, "make sure this reaches her." The friend, a quiet man named Thomas, nodded. They charged forward through the fog and fire, hearts pounding, bullets whizzing past like angry bees. For hours they fought, until the sun was nothing but a faint glow behind the smoke. Then silence. When the dust cleared, Thomas found Daniel lying still, his hand clutching the locket Anna had given him. The letter was soaked with blood, but still legible. Thomas wiped it clean, tears mixing with the dirt on his face. He kept his promise. Months later, far away from the battlefield, a knock echoed at Anna's door. She opened it to see a weary man in uniform, holding a small envelope. He didn't have to say a word. Her heart already knew. Her hands shook as she opened the letter, the paper worn and stained, but Daniel's handwriting still clear. "My dearest Anna," it read, "if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it home. I want you to know that every moment I lived, I thought of you. Every step, every heartbeat was for the hope of seeing you again. When the nights grew dark, I remembered your laughter. When the world felt cold, I imagined your hands. And when fear came for me, I whispered your name, and it kept me alive a little longer." She read each line slowly, tears falling onto the words, her chest tightening with both grief and love. "Don't let my absence be your sadness," the letter continued. "Instead, live for both of us. Plant the garden we dreamed of. Sing to the stars. And when the wind blows, know that I'm there, whispering I love you." Outside, the snow was falling softly. Anna stepped onto the porch, clutching the letter to her chest. She looked toward the hills where the fields once bloomed and whispered back, "I love you too." Years passed. The war ended. The town rebuilt itself, but Anna never left the small house they had planned to share. She planted the garden Daniel had written about, rows of wildflowers, bright and alive. Children from the village would visit and listen as she told the story of the soldier who never made it home, but whose words live forever. He wasn't famous, she'd say with a soft smile. He wasn't a general or a hero in books, but he was my hero. And he taught me that love can survive anything, even war. Every year, on the anniversary of his death, she placed fresh flowers beneath the oak tree where they had once taken their picture. She'd sit quietly, reading his letter aloud, her voice steady but full of feeling. When the wind blows, she'd say, "He's here." And sometimes, just for a moment, she swore she could feel it, a soft breeze, a warmth on her cheek, like a kiss from the past. Decades later, when Anna passed away, the villagers found Daniel's letter framed beside her bed. The ink had faded, but the message was eternal. They buried her next to the oak tree, beside a small memorial stone engraved with his name. The two of them, together at last, the way it was always meant to be. In time, the story of Daniel's last letter spread far beyond the village. Journalists wrote about it, students studied it, and families shared it. It became a symbol of love unbroken by distance or death, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, the human heart remembers. Soldiers who heard the story wrote their own letters home, inspired by Daniel's words. Some made it back, some didn't, but each one carried the same message: love is stronger than war. Today, if you visit that quiet town, you'll still find that oak tree standing tall, its branches swaying gently in the wind. At its base, flowers bloom every spring, planted by strangers who come to pay their respects. And sometimes, tucked between the petals, you'll find a letter written by someone who heard Daniel's story and felt moved to write one of their own. Letters to mothers, to fathers, to lovers waiting across oceans. Letters that carry the same promise, to love even when the world is falling apart. The world has changed, but the message remains. His words still do. They travel through time, through pages, through hearts. Daniel's letter is more than ink on paper. It is a bridge between the living and the lost, between yesterday and forever. He never made it back, but his love did. His words became his heartbeat, echoing across generations, whispering through the wind, reminding us all that love, once written, never dies.